Let's go. Yes, sir. You know what time it is. It's part 3. We're going to the North side. NAWF side. Where you and I know it's the best side. But you know how we do this. You know it's time for that NFL preview. Big Sin's in the building. Hollywood J Black's in the building. We got a lot to talk about. This north side ain't playing around. Vikings, Browns, all of the shit. Well, fuck it. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is your boy James, aka Hollywood J Black, live in the building once again. Back up in this thing with another version of the NFL preview show. You know I don't do this alone. I got my man, my main man's, Big MFN Sinners in the building. How you doing today, sir?
Man, I'm tired as fuck, but I'm here. How you doing?
You's tired, sir? You's tired, boss?
I'm always tired. I'm old.
Well, you know, we both old, cuz. That's just a general assessment. You know what I'm saying? We just some old-ass cats. But that's why we doing this, because we old. Shit. If we were youthful and young, we'd be probably out the bar, you know, banging chicks and doing other stuff. But nah.
We did that shit at 18.
That's what I said. If we were younger, you know, 18. So that would equate to 22 years ago for both of us. God damn. 22 years ago. That's forever. My goodness. But
yeah, I'm coming up on my 25th fucking high school graduation. That's what my 25th anniversary.
Jeez. I'm not invited to my if they ever did a reunion for my class, which they did, I think they did a 20-year. I'm not invited to that motherfucker.
I left the group that was on mine, so I don't know and I don't care.
Listen. I hate half them fools. I only like the people that graduated the year after. I only appreciate them fools.
My issue was I didn't care about them when I was in school. Why should I care about them
now? Yeah, you know, well, I used to always think that'd be a cool thing, right? Like when you're like when you see all these movies about high school reunions, you always think about how cool it would be to go back there being better than you were, represent yourself.
My shit would be like Zach and Mary make a porno. I'd just be there just all fucked off, not giving a fuck. Getting drunk, getting a hand job in the closet, you know what I'm saying?
You know, to me, like I said, I really didn't make a lot of friends with the people in my class. It was either the people that graduated before me or the people that graduated after me.
Exactly.
Everybody else, nobody liked me in my own class. When I was a senior, everybody fucking hated me. Fuck them.
Fuck them. And if you're watching this right now, fuck you too.
Yeah. Everybody came after me or before me, cuz it was good. If you graduated in 99, fuck you. No, I'm just and from Vegas High School, I love you, but fuck you. I love you, but fuck you. But
today we're talking about one of the oldest divisions in the NFL.
Yes.
The NFC North is like the old man of the NFL.
Yes. NFC North. NAWF. We're gonna go through this. We're gonna split this one into 2 parts. Don't worry, it's still gonna be on the same podcast.
All in one video.
All in one video. Don't worry about that. It's fine. We got this. We got this, y'all.
Like I said before, we live 3,000 miles away. I'm tired. I'm on call this week. This man has a lot of shit he doing, so we try and get these done when we can. So
yeah, we do what we do, how we do, when we do, because we do. Now, without further ado,
let's talk about the shitty Detroit Lions. Go ahead and put that logo up there, sir.
I don't even want to shame my computer by putting this logo up here, but we got a job to do.
But damn new coach said they're going to bite people's knees and shit.
Yes. We're going to scratch and claw, bite people's knees and eyes, and such a beautiful thing.
So Mr. Dan Campbell brought in a whole new coaching staff here.
Yep.
We have Aaron Glenn as defensive coordinator, Anthony Lynn of San Diego and Los Angeles Chargers failure as offensive coordinator. He was the fall guy for the Chargers debacle, but we all know it's the ownership there.
Yes.
Aubrey Pleasant as a defensive back coach, Deuce Staley as the running back coach, Dave Flip as a special teams coordinator. Here's a blast from the past. You ready for this one?
What?
Mark Brunell as the quarterback's coach.
Oh, shit. So you got Mark Brunell going to be coaching essentially the man's Jared Goff there. That is an interesting concept there.
Then here's another interesting one. They call him a senior defensive assistant. I call him a senior citizen. Dom Capers.
Holy shit. They brought that man out of double retirement.
And Antoine Randall L as their wide receivers coach. Antoine Randall L wasn't even a good football player.
Yes, he was.
Don't say
that.
He was a Steeler, so I give him shit.
Yeah, I'm about to say, that's that Steeler hate, right? They ain't got to calm that, sir. We got to calm that down. Calm that down, right? Damn.
So a lot of changes in-house, which usually doesn't mean good things for the following season, and a major change of quarterback. And you still got no running backs. You barely got a receiving core. And you lost a lot of defensive men. So,
but they got Jared Goff.
So let me talk about their other additions via free agency.
Oh, okay.
If there's anybody here, Tyrell Williams, who was a failure at the Raiders.
Damn. Josh
Hill, who saw like 3 games as a Saint. Jamal Williams, running back in Green Bay, which they never used. Tim Boyer, a quarterback from Green Bay, which you know they never fucking used.
Yeah.
Bashard Perryman was on the Jets, so anything's a better look for him. Randy Bullock, a decent place kicker. Khalif Raymond, I don't even know who the fuck you is. You was on the Tennessee Titans last year. They had one good wide receiver. Nobody still knows your name? Damian Ratley, again, you're on the Houston Texans. They had a no-name good wide receiver, and nobody knows your name?
Oh, jeez.
This is becoming a roast of the Detroit Lions. I apologize. It's my mood.
Damn.
Alex Anzalone, a linebacker from the Saints. Nobody knows who you are, but for some reason they're paying you $1.75 million.
Damn.
Corner named Corn Elder.
Corn? That might be the best.
Homie, is your ass Petridge Farms?
Hey, listen, that might be the best name on this shit. Corn Elder. Nigga, what is it? He said Elder or Felder?
Elder.
Corn Elder. That's listen.
Like he's a broken Skyrim NPC.
Dude, that's like the best name on there though. That's a football name. Corn Elder, boy. Calm.
Maybe he played in the South, but he's no longer in the South.
He's in the North.
This is an interesting name. Quentin Dunbar.
Oh, I haven't heard that name in a minute.
Yeah, he was on the Seahawks last year apparently.
Yeah.
Dean Marlowe, Darren Fells of failed New England and Houston Texans tight end.
Yeah.
Alex Brown, Asia Harder, Charlie Tamapau, Darren Paolo, and Brian Price.
So what you're telling me is that it's just Jared Goff and a bunch of misfits. Essentially, what you're telling me. Because
would you like to know what they lost?
Everyone. They.
I'll just give you a few names: Jesse James, Danny Shelton, Marvin Jones, Desmond Trufant.
Oh man.
Kenny Galladay, Mohamed Sanu, Kenyon Johnson.
Remember, I believe that we talked about this in the NFL show, in an overtime sports show. We talked about the fact that at least Jared Goff is going to be able to throw to Kenny Galladay and Marvin Jones. And
nope.
And we was like, and shit, Matt Stafford turned them in the ballers. At least he has them. Nope. God damn.
So during the draft, all they did was they drafted an offensive tackle, Penel Sewell, was a decent one out of Oregon. He's a speed He's a speed offensive lineman. Levi Onwuzurike and Aleem Neal, 2 defensive tackles. Ifatal Maifawau, a cornerback. Amon Ross St. Brown, a wide receiver out of USC. Derek Barnes, a linebacker. And Jamar Jefferson, a running back from Oregon State.
So what you're telling me is it's just Jared Goff and a bunch of
what I'm telling you is it is going to be a very long season for the Detroit City Lions.
It's going to be a very long season for Jared Goff and the Misfits. That's what it is.
So here's their quarterback room. Go ahead and so here's their quarterback room. David Blough.
David Bowe, huh?
Blough. Blouh.
Oh,
the guy who came in for Stafford last year.
You were talking about Blau. That's what his name is. Blau. David Blau.
Tim Boyle, who was like 10th string in Green Bay, and the aforementioned Jared Goff.
Jared Goff and a bunch of misfits. That's going to be the name of this team. That's the name now. Jared Goff and a bunch of misfits.
Here's their running back room, which they haven't had a running back since Barry Sanders and LeGarrette Blount. Godwin Igwebuike.
Okay.
Jamar Jefferson,
okay.
Dedrick Mills, who doesn't even have a Wikipedia page, Craig Reynolds, Jamal Williams, DeAndre Swift, and a fullback, Jason Cabinda. DeAndre Swift is a failed test.
Christ, this is horrible.
Oh, you ready for their wide receiver room?
Yeah.
Since they lost 2 off-roads?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Geronimo Allison.
Okay.
Victor Bolden Jr. No, not Anquan's son. Victor's son, who nobody knows. Here you go. Quintez Cephas.
What the fuck?
Tom Kennedy.
Javon
McKinley. Brashard Perryman. Damian Ratley. Khalif Raymond. Amon Ross St. Brown. Sage Surratt. And Tyrell Williams. So Jared Goff's going to have like one primary target here, and it's going to be Brashard Perriman.
Jared Goff is a bunch of misfits. And they have no running back.
Yep. Well, they got Mr. Swift, who, like I said, was a failure. At tight end, they got Darren Fells, TJ Hawkinson, Alize Mack, baby.
They might as well.
Yes. Alize Mack.
They might as well sign Frank Gore at this point. I mean, at least Frank Gore would bring some legitimacy to their running back core. God damn.
Yeah, this team is – oh, God. They still got Michael Brockers on defense. They got – who else they got? The aforementioned they got C.J. Moore. Oh, God damn, this team is rough to look at. They still got Jamie Collins.
You haven't
Trey Flowers.
You haven't told me anything positive about this team at all. Like –
well, Jamie Collins, remember, he's an all-pro linebacker at least.
So again, you haven't told me anything positive about this.
Yeah, it's because he was only good in New England. So,
my God, what the fuck,
man? Yeah, that's their roster.
Jesus Christ.
So you want to go ahead and throw that schedule up there?
0-17? Oh, sure, why not?
Oh, and let me also say this. This is the 92nd season for the Detroit Lions, and they are this bad.
90, man, they are not winning shit, bro.
Now, you ready for this? So they open at home against the San Francisco 49ers, and they're at Green Bay, home against Baltimore, at Chicago, at Minnesota, home against Cincinnati, at the Rams, home against Philly. Then they have the bye week. Come back from the bye week. They're at Pittsburgh, at Cleveland. I'm sorry I'm laughing as I say this because I haven't seen a win yet. Home against Chicago, home against Minnesota, at Denver, home against Arizona, at Atlanta, at Seattle, and then home against the Green Bay Packers.
Jesus Christ.
Are they going to be one of the only teams in NFL history to have a 0-win season twice in their franchise history?
Nah, let me tell you. I'll tell you right now. Give me a second. Now, I don't want to say that because I know that they're bound. The Vikings are bound to fuck up somewhere.
Yeah, the Vikings. They're shaky.
Yeah, that's the problem. And the other problem is that the Falcons are literally in the same position as the Lions, except they actually have a receiver.
And the proven quarterback who has proven that he can win with less than talent.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So
I'm going to throw a number out there. I'm throwing out 4-13.
man, I'm throwing. You being generous. I'm giving you 2-15. That's like it. As the Vikings, I know they'll fuck up at least once. And then the Falcons, I think they'll beat the Falcons.
I think Green Bay is going to be sitting a lot of starters at the end of the season, so they'll pull that one out too.
Yeah. I think that's the shaking one. I think I even said that the Falcons would beat the Lions, but I have to realize that they're literally in the same position. Yeah, I think that's literally it. I don't see him beating the Niners. Really can't see him beating the Packers. Can't see him beating the Ravens. Neither the Bears at Chicago nor the Vikings at Minnesota. The Bengals, maybe, but...
No, Joe Burrow is actually going to see action in the last preseason game, so he should be ready.
Joe Burrow's healthy. That's the scary part. Nah, I can't. But that's what I'm saying. He's at the Rams? Is this to the Rams?
Yep, the Rams too.
This.
But you know Matt Stafford's going to go there, revenge on his mind.
Well, revenge for what? I mean, shit.
Not giving him any talent to fucking around him.
I think that's the ownership fault. You need
like a running back.
Eagles.
So yeah, I'm going 4-13. I'm gonna be hopelessly optimistic that they win 4 games.
Now they're all in on Teddy Bridgewater. I think the Broncos could beat the Lions. I don't see that one. They might even lose the bye week. I'm just playing. Fucked up. Yeah, I see. 2-15 because I don't see anywhere else. So
go ahead and throw up that Minnesota Vikings logo.
All right. Well, let's talk about the Vikings. The bag of disappointment that is the Minnesota Vikings.
So the only bright spot about the Minnesota Vikings last year was Dalvin Cook.
Yes.
And Jeffries, the wide receiver.
Yes, because the Vikings lost faith in Kirk Cousins to actually win them games.
Well, when Kirk Cousins came out on national media and said, "Yeah, we'll win games if I stop throwing interceptions," and the next game he threw 4.
Wow.
Fucking Minnesota Vikings. I feel bad for the fan base for the Vikings. They've gotten so close with worse quarterbacks than Kirk Cousins.
Well, by the time they discovered that Dalvin Cook was the shit, it was already too late. So,
and then they got rid of Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, that was, I remember I told you that was going to be a problem. I said,
and the defense fell apart.
Yeah. Yeah, it's bad.
So I'm gonna take a look at their draft real quick. Offensive line, they drafted Kellen Mond, the quarterback from Texas A&M.
What round?
3rd.
Oh wow. Well, that's kind of.
They had 5 picks in the 3rd round.
Oh wow, okay.
Quarterback, linebacker, offensive guard, defensive end.
Okay.
Wow. Where are their signings at? They did not sign anybody.
Nah, they had a pretty
uneventful offseason.
Mm-hmm. They said we're gonna run it back, and I'm just like, really? You didn't learn that?
The best part about the offseason is their head coach married a 25-year-old supermodel who's not a gold digger.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when you're a supermodel. How can you be a gold digger? Shit, you probably make more than a fucking goat.
Okay, I probably misphrased that. She's an Instagram model. Sorry.
Oh, okay, that's different. Now that
they consider themselves supermodels.
No, there's not. The only super thing is that if they're on somebody's expensive ass iPhone screen, yeah, they're a super model. But remember, they're also on somebody's bootleg ass Android phone too. So the XG mini China phone, I can pop you on there too. If I can pop you on both, nah, you're not a supermodel, young lady. You're not.
All right, so let's take a look at this roster we got here. We have, in the quarterback room, we got Jake Browning, Kirk Cousins, Kellen Mond, and Nate Stanley. That is the whitest name I've ever heard.
Nate Stanley.
Yes.
Nate Stanley.
Nate Stanley.
That is pretty white, though. So, I mean, yeah.
That is very white.
Yes, very white, like Barry White.
So I think Kirk Cousins convinced his coaching staff and GM to bring these guys in so he don't have to worry about his job.
Yeah, I mean, but listen, I'd be worried about everybody's job. If I was the Vikings, Even if you're a fucking ball boy, I would literally be worrying about your job this season. You gonna tell me no?
No, I'm not.
Just saying. Listen.
All right. So yeah, their quarterback room only has Kirk Cousins, and he's a turnover machine. At running back, here's their running back room: Amir Abdullah, Dalvin Cook, Alexander Mattison, Kene Nwangu, AJ Rose, Ito Smith, and Jake Baragas and CJ Ham at the fullback. Dalvin Cook is obviously the man you're looking at this year.
Yeah, but he don't have no reinforcements. If he go down, that's the season.
And CJ Ham is a good fullback.
It's not that. Yeah, he is. He opens some holes for Dalvin Cook. But listen, if something happens to Dalvin Cook, we saw it last year. If something happens to Dalvin Cook, it's over. That's it. Finito. Done. It's a wrap. Send him home.
Due to Adam Thielen being hurt last year, Justin Jefferson was able to break Randy Moss's Vikings record.
That's because Kirk Cousins tried to be a quarterback, and he's just not.
So there are some funny names in their wide receiver room. So we got Chad Beebe.
Is he? Oh, it's Mike Beebe's son.
Yeah. We got
Don Beebe.
We got Dan Chisena.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
Myron Mitchell.
Uh-huh.
KJ Osborne. Here you go. Whop Philor.
Whop?
WHOP. Last name is PHILYAR.
My nigga Whop.
Whop. That is not an Italian bad word. That is this man's name.
My nigga Whop. There's some hoes in this house. Oh, my bad.
Lord forgive us if he becomes a fucking footballer. Yeah, Whop is a Pro Bowl type wide receiver. Then fucking Cardi B song be playing in the background
every time he comes a touchdown. Whop.
Here you go. Ihmir Smith Marset.
Ihmir?
Ihmir. IHMIR.
Emir.
Then Adam Thielen.
They're supposed to trade him.
And D.D. Westbrook.
Oh, D.D. Westbrook ended up in Minnesota, huh?
Yeah.
That's my nigga D.D. He played for Jacksonville. He was a number one receiver. Remember we talked about this in Jacksonville. Yeah. I said D.D. Westbrook was the best number 3 receiver in Jacksonville. And then because nobody wanted to play in Jacksonville, he became the number 1 receiver in Jacksonville. God damn.
And that's for Jacksonville. They decided to go with Trevor Lawrence, even though he's been shaky in the preseason as their starter.
Their entire offense has been shaky. It's kind of par for the course at this point.
So in the tight end locker, we got Tyler Conklin, Zach Davidson, Brandon Dillon, Irv Smith Jr., and Shane Zitstra.
Zitstra, huh?
All right, let's take a look at their offensive line is relatively unchanged from last year, which is a bad thing.
Definitely not a good thing, sir. It's definitely not a good thing at all.
Defensive line, they got James Lynch. They got Hercules Mataafa.
Matafaka? What?
Mataafa.
Matafaka?
Sheldon Richardson, which is a big defender.
Yeah.
DJ Wanham, he's pretty good. Everson Griffin is really good.
Yeah, Everson Griffin's legit. All right,
and Patrick Jones, the second.
Yes, the second, not the first, nor the third, the second. All right. Yeah.
But what is up with these names? Linebacker, Tuff Borland.
Tuft.
TUF.
At least Mama knew he was going to be a football player.
Hold on. Shit. Chaz Surratt. CHAZZ.
Chaz. With 2 Z's?
Yes.
With 2 Z's. I can understand Chaz with 1 Z, but you named it with 2 Z's. They put some...
And SURRATT as the fucking last name.
Chaz Surratt.
His teachers must have hated his ass.
Man, listen. You know what? I think people are getting their football names from the Key and Peele show. You know what episode I'm talking about.
Yep. So on their reserve list, I didn't even see this yet. 2 more wide receivers. You ready for this one?
Uh-huh.
Bissy Johnson, Bisi.
Bissy. My nigga Bissy.
And I think this is Ricky Prohl's kid, Blake Prohl.
Oh, that's the other pro. Because remember, Ricky Prohl has 2 kids in the thing. The one pro plays for the Rams, and then the other one plays here now.
Yeah, they're both on IR right now.
Wow.
Defensive backfield, Chris Boyd. I'm sorry, I read that one wrong. Harrison Hand, Perry Nickerson. The big one coming over is Patrick Peterson. Too bad he's 36. Xavier Woods is one of the best ones in the NFL.
Xavier Woods.
And Mackenzie Alexander.
New Day Rocks. New Day Rocks. He said new. Oh, my bad. Sorry.
So, and at punter, they don't have Brandon Colquitt. They have Britton Colquitt.
That's right. Britton Colquitt. That's right. Younger brother. Okay. Or something or other.
Last time we saw 2 brothers at kicker, they were the Grammaticas, and they both got injured back-to-back weeks during the same celebration.
It was the best thing ever. What are you talking about? That was a highlight reel. You could have never predicted that. So I guess we got to talk.
Anywho,
we got to talk about their rookies now. I was going to talk about the schedule. Who they draft?
You actually want to know who they draft?
Yeah, might as well.
Right. Christian Darrisaw, Kellen Mond, Chaz Surratt, Wyatt Davis, Patrick Jones II, Kene Nwagwa, Cameron Bynum, Janarius Robinson, Emir Smith-Marset, Zach Davidson, and Jalen Twyman. So most of their wide receiver room is rookies.
Christ.
Jeffrey's only a second year. Jefferson's only a second year player.
And they gotta get a ball. And they gotta get a ball from Kirk Cousins. Holy fucking shit! God damn.
The only way this team succeeds is if Adam Thielen stays healthy for the season.
They said, "Good news, guys. You're all going pro." Yeah. Bad news. Kirk Cousins is throwing to you. Can you cut me?
And the reason we joke about this is because there's an unbelievable stat out there that Larry Fitzgerald has more tackles in his career than he has drop passes.
Yes.
And they just like 1 and 2. It's like 16.
Yeah. Yeah. That's this. Jesus Christ.
So let's get through the schedule because you're going to pause this after we do the schedule because you got to do your thing. We'll just record the rest of it after. I'm feeling a little bit better now, so.
Yay!
All right, so throw that beautiful, somewhat schedule up there.
Roll that beautiful Viking schedule.
All right, so first off, starting off with 2 road games, at Cincinnati and at Arizona. Then you got Seattle, Cleveland, and Detroit at home.
Okay.
Then at Carolina, you got your bye week. Then you got Dallas at home, at Baltimore, at the Chargers. Green Bay at home, at San Francisco, at Detroit. Pittsburgh at home, at Chicago, home against the Rams, at Green Bay, and home against the Bears to end this season.
None of this looks good.
Especially, the Bengals game is a toss-up because we need to know how Joe Burrow actually feels coming into the season.
Yeah. So, I honestly think the Vikings can win that one. Honestly, I think the Vikings, if Dalvin Cook is healthy, they can go 2-2. The first 4 games.
They're gonna. I don't know because Arizona, Seattle, and Cleveland. That's rough.
Seattle. That's where my big. I'm not saying Seattle has a problem against the run. They have.
And you hate the Seahawks.
No, they really have a problem against the run. Like, if you were to tell me Seattle was playing like the Lions, right? I'd tell you Seattle's going to blow them the fuck out. Because they have no weapons in Detroit. Sorry. But we're talking about Dalvin Cook here. Like, literally, we're talking about Dalvin Cook. That's it. That's all the Vikings really need to win against a team that's shitty against the run. Which brings me to the Green Bay games. Which is, I don't know if Green Bay hasn't learned anything from the last 2 years against the run, they'll probably end up stealing a Green Bay game.
Yeah, because Green Bay did struggle both games against the Lions last year.
Yeah, they struggle. They struggle against anybody with a decent running back. They struggle. That's just.
So I'm going to throw out my number real quick. I'm going 7-10.
It's just 7-10. Let me see. I said 2-2 the first four. I think they'll beat the Lions. That's 3-2. The Panthers. I think I questioned that one. I think I said the Panthers might steal that one. That's 3-3.
Is it really a theft?
Let's see. 3-3. So 5-3 because I don't see them beating the Cowboys nor the Ravens. I don't even see them beating the Chargers. That's 3-6. I think they'll split with Green Bay. So to win the home game at Green Bay, so that's 4-6. Not beating the Niners, 4-7. We already seen that one. They're beating the Lions, 5-7. They're not beating the Steelers, 5-8. They'll probably steal one from the Bears.
You gotta remember that's back half of the season Steelers. They might be on a 5-game losing streak.
God damn, you might be right. Let's see, 5-8, 6-8.
Worst 11-0 team in NFL history.
I think 6-11.
6-11.
6-11.
All right, go ahead and pause the video. We'll be back with you real soon.
Oh.
I am going to a commercial break. I know you see shit, but we'll pause for 15 minutes. We're talking about a team that is so bad is then falls in the Matt Nagy job. They're drafted over Patrick Mahomes, notable quarterback, Buffalo, Trubisky. He got off.
So I'm gonna tell you right now, everything that you just said sounded like you became a robot because everything happened. The whole internet thing just froze and it was all bad. So, we're gonna try again with feeling now. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, Sin. It's the internet. It's the internet. It's gonna be all right. You're good. No, listen. It's okay. It's okay. So what Big Sin was trying to tell you was that the Chicago Bears, the team that passed over such wonderful quarterbacks in the draft that they drafted Mitch Trubisky in, now no longer have Mitch Trubisky. He's a Buffalo Bill now.
He's going to be a very good backup for Josh Allen.
Yeah, and finally decided to get the quarterback that the type of quarterback that they should have gotten the last time when they got Justin Fields. Now here's the kicker. Okay, Andy Dalton's going to be starting the season, and we'll get to that in a little bit.
Well, also, the Buffalo Bills tried to murder Justin Fields in that last preseason game. Knocked his helmet off and fucking just nailed his ass right with no helmet on.
I mean, let's really be honest. It's not like Mitch Trubisky did slide them a playbook or something like that. I don't know what you're talking about. It's not like he told exactly what the calls were going to be. I don't know what you're talking about, Big Sin. I don't know. What are you trying to insinuate, sir? Oh,
for some reason, Matt Nagy still has a job.
That's not an insinuation. That's unfortunately a fact.
So let's go ahead and talk about that draft here. Hollywood already said it with the number 11 pick, which I feel, and Hollywood probably feels he shouldn't have slid that low.
No, not at all.
Justin Fields. Then you had Tevin Jenkins, Larry Baram, Khalil Herbert. I guess the matchup with Khalil Mack. Daz Newsome, Thomas Graham Jr., and Kairis Tonga. Tonga.
The Tongas, baby. The Tongas. So Justin Fields always the highlight of the draft. I don't know how this is going to go because, listen, everybody thought the 49ers were going to pick Justin Fields after we traded up to get the number 3 pick.
Yeah, and you guys, and the thing that whole situation, we'll talk about it more next week with is Kyle Shanahan wanted Matt until the very last day.
Well, yeah.
And then he switched it over to Trey Lance.
Which so far in the preseason has looked real good. But that's something that we'll talk about next week.
And Mac Jones has looked really good too.
Yeah.
So, but with that also being said, if the Bears did not trade up to get Justin Fields would be a New England Patriot.
Yeah. Hell, actually, I mean, in all intents and purposes, you could have slotted anybody between 8 and 10. I mean, well, 8 and 12.
But no, the reason I say that is because the Patriots were 12.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, so
even though Mac Jones is a more Bill Belichick type of quarterback,
yeah,
I think with last year and coming into this year with Cam as the starting quarterback, they would have went Justin Fields to keep that type of style in place.
Yeah, well, that's what's his name, Josh McDaniels' wet dream, a scrambling quarterback with a cannon of an arm.
Yep.
I mean, he tried to do that with Tim Tebow. It's just that he was very inaccurate with a cannon of an arm.
But Josh McDaniels and Tim Tebow went to the playoffs.
That's true. Hey, you ain't never lied. All right.
So they have head coach Matt Nagy. OC is Bill Lazor.
I'm a fire my laser.
My laser. Not really seeing much. Tom Herman, offensive analyst, special projects, whatever that means.
Special projects, huh?
I think he's the guy who gets out of coke for the defensive lineman. I think that's what that is.
Wait a minute, I thought that was Urban Meyer's assistant coach job, okay? Damn.
Yeah, but he's in Jacksonville, so somebody's got to do it in Chicago.
That's true.
All right, so let's go ahead and look at these rooms here that we have it. The Bears are actually pretty comfortable in the quarterback room. You got Andy Dalton, Justin Fields, and Nick Foles. You have a former 8-year-in-a-row wild card quarterback in Andy Dalton, a former Super Bowl champion and Super Bowl MVP in Nick Foles, and Justin Fields, who has played with a lot of pressure on his back in college.
Yeah, well, I mean, he performed. So it's not like, he didn't step up to the plate and do what he did. I mean, although, as we all know, Ohio State's defense has always been fucking top-notch, which takes a lot of the pressure off. And
we also know, and this is not a knock on Justin Fields or a future, Ohio State quarterbacks don't really pan out in the NFL.
You ain't never lied about
that. They all become wide receivers and just fall out of the league.
Yeah, you ain't never lied about that either. Shit. Christ.
In the running back room, we got the aforementioned Khalil Herbert, David Montgomery, Ryan Nail, Atrevius Price, and Damian Williams. David Montgomery and Damian Williams are going to be a nice little 1-2 right there.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice little. I mean, the Bears had a decent running game last year. That's kind of why they were as decent as they were last year.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and they have Allen Robinson at wide receiver too.
Yeah,
so.
That too. I mean,
and also this offseason, pay that fucking man or let him leave.
Yes, please, because quit franchise tagging us, man. Just give him that money, man. The whole thing with Trubisky, though, because I do want to get on that, is that once your boys stop calling plays, once Matt Nagy stopped trying to force a square peg in a round hole with Trubisky and letting the offensive coordinator call plays, Trubisky improved tremendously.
His first, second year, he started up again.
Yeah.
It usually takes 3 years for a rookie quarterback to get into a coach's system.
Yeah. And he did it, and I mean, and that was the big problem though, because like they didn't give him time to develop the way that they needed to. They didn't use his strengths, like because I felt like they tried to force him. You remember that? When Robert Griffin III, RG3, tried to force himself to be a regular quarterback. Remember that?
Yeah, it just didn't work. Remember it happened to a lot of running quarterbacks.
Yeah. Because my whole thing is that if you really wanted to turn somebody into a regular quarterback, guess what you should have drafted, sir?
A regular fucking quarterback.
Thank you. Jesus Christ.
So, all right, the wide receiver room is actually not that bad. We have Rodney Adams, Damiere Byrd, who is a very good, underrated wide receiver.
Yeah.
Isaiah Coulter, Marquise Goodwin of 49ers Sophie fame.
Yeah.
Javea Johnson, Chris Lacey, Darnell Mooney, Daz Newsome, Riley Ridley, Allen Robinson, and Javon Vims. So Justin Fields has some targets to throw to here.
Yeah.
And that's on top of their tight end core, which is Jimmy Graham, Scooter Harrington, J.P. Holtz, Jesper Horsted, Jesse James and Cole Kmet. Jesse James and Jimmy Graham have the ability to be a very good two tight end set.
Well, you know what the scary part about this is? This might be the most talented team that Andy Dalton's ever been a part of.
And he won't be starting.
No, he is.
Oh, yeah. He'll be starting maybe the first 4 weeks, and it'll be Justin Fields' team.
Well, what happens if Andy Dalton goes 4-0?
I still think Matt Nagy's going to do what they did to Fitzpatrick in Miami last year.
You know, if they do that, and then Justin Fields gets killed out there, I don't think he will. But if that ever happens, you know Matt Nagy's going to be fired by like week 12, right? They go,
which is what we need to wish for because they need a better coach.
I mean, I honestly think that
last year, hold on. This coming from the man who last year only said his accurate name once in the whole season.
Yeah. I know.
You kept on calling him a different first name week in and week out.
I mean, listen, fuck that guy, okay? I love the Chicago Bears, but fuck that guy. On the bottom of my heart, fuck you. Okay.
Hey, we're honest here at Simple Black.
Listen, he's turned a historic franchise into a mess. At least Lovie Smith kept him honest, right? Who was it after Lovie?
I can't remember.
Oh, the one dude. I can't remember his name. He got fired. Yeah.
So the big question mark on offensive line is after a year out of the NFL, coming back from retirement. Is Jason Peters ready to do what he used to do?
Yeah, I just, you know, it's a strength thing. Like, I had a conversation with Joe Staley on Twitter. You know Joe Staley. For a 49er offensive lineman. In the year to time that he had off, he lost so much weight that it took him forever just to get back up to speed. But he retired, so legitimately, he had the right to lose the weight. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And Jason Peters retired for a year, so
yeah.
See, it's a big question mark of whether he can actually get to the Pro Bowl caliber player that he used to be in the new system because he was in Philadelphia for all those years.
I mean, he's looked good in this preseason. That's what everybody's praising. That this O-line is actually good enough, and that's why everybody said that this is the best. On offense, the best team that Andy Dalton's ever been a part of. I mean, when you factor in the running back core, you factor in Allen Robinson in the gang, you factor in Jimmy Graham. He's never had a tight end like Jimmy Graham. Like he had Tyler Eifert, but
you got Jesse James over there too, who's very good.
That's what I'm saying. So don't be surprised if Andy Dalton plays good enough to where they keep it going.
I think it's best for Justin Fields not to play this season. But I have a feeling it's going to be one of those, say in the first 4 games, say it's a tough schedule, they go 2-2. I think you see a short hook for Andy Dalton.
Man, listen, if Andy Dalton puts up Pro Bowl numbers this year, I don't see why they would even I mean, let me rephrase it. Matt Nagy's in charge. I'd see why, because it's Matt Nagy, because it's boom or bust.
He's the second worst head coach since Bill O'Brien.
Yeah, you ain't never lied. No, third. Let's talk about.
And Coach Swamp Thing in San Francisco, Tom Sula.
Yeah, about to say because I'll even add one more. The nigga that coached the Falcons that came from Louisville, the one I told you about. Horrible coaches. 3 worst coaches in the NFL history. Those 3, and then Nagy, who has all the experience. I mean, who has all the talent, but none of the chutzpah, as I take from some of my Jewish friends. He has no chutzpah, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, so let's go talk about the strength of this team the last couple of years, their defense.
Yes.
On the line, we got Mario Edwards Jr., Akeem Nicks, Bilal Nichols, Sam Kamara. They are good at the defensive line. And linebacking core, we already know because the first year he was there, me and Hollywood both said, this man makes his team 13-3. He is still there, even though back in March, the Raiders tried to trade for him back. Khalil Mack.
It was hilarious that we said they was a 13-3 team with them. Oh, they went 12-4. We were close.
No, they were 13-3.
Oh, they did go 13-3. That's right.
Yeah. We called that one on the dot when they got him.
Yeah.
Because then we did a second video about it.
Yeah. Because he said
so. Also in the linebacker core, they got Jeremy Atachu, Travis Gibson. They got Khalil Mack, Al Ogletree, Robert Quinn, Danny Trevathan and Josh Woods, they have a good linebacking core.
Yeah. That's a squad. That's the squad they've been running with, and they've been. I mean, there's sometimes when they fuck up. I'm not gonna get me wrong. Mm-hmm. They got the ability to fuck shit up.
You see, that's like Trevathan. Trevathan was a Pro Bowler in Denver, and then went just ham because he thought he was better than he was, and he thought he was better than Von Miller, and that's why his career fell off in Denver.
Yeah, yeah, and that's kind of, but he's resurrected it. He's brought it back in Chicago. Like, he's done his thing. I believe in him.
So in the defensive backfield, we have Deion Bush, we have Desmond Trufant, Pro Bowler, Jalen Johnson, Eddie Jackson is a very good free safety. Tayshaun Gibson is a very good strong safety. Xavier Crawford. This defense is loaded again this year.
Well, the defense, when they're on point, there you see what happens. You see 13-3 when the defense is doing their thing. Mitch Trubisky can fuck up but back then, and they went 13-3. That's it.
We have to mention Tariq Cohen. He's on the PUP list.
Yeah.
Jordan Lucas also. He's also on the IR. But so last year with the Bears, the big issue was Akeem Hicks was injured.
Yeah.
Khalil Mack lines up behind Akeem Hicks because Akeem Hicks demands a double team.
Yep.
So Khalil Mack did not. Yes, he had 13 sacks last year, but he was not the nuisance he was the prior year when Hicks was healthy. Akeem Hicks is 100% healthy going into the season.
Yeah.
So it might be a resurgence year for Mr. Khalil Mack.
Which that should be. This is defense. And back to what I said previously. This team may be the best team that Andy Dalton's ever played for. And
whoever runs their Wikipedia page must be mad about what happened with Buffalo. They never even put the score in there. It says August 21st, 12 p.m. Opponent Buffalo Bills. Blank, blank, blank.
It never happened.
All right, go ahead and throw up that
schedule.
Beautiful bird schedule.
The schedule. Let me throw up the schedule.
All right, so they start off at the Rams against a quarterback who knows them very well, Matt Stafford. Home against the Bengals, at the Browns, home against the Lions, at the Raiders, home against the Packers, at Tampa Bay, home against San Francisco, at Pittsburgh. So they are going travel, home, travel, home, travel, home, travel, home, travel, home for the first 8 weeks of the season. That is never good for any team. And you know what the worst part about it is?
What?
Their whole season, they do not have back-to-back home games or road games. Every week is alternating. So somebody in the NFL scheduling hates this team.
They said home, road, home, road, home, road.
No,
home.
It's actually road, home, road, home, road, home, road, home, road, bye, home, road, home, road, home, road, home, road.
They got the niggas traveling.
So in the second half of the season, after the Steelers game, they got the home against the Ravens, at Detroit, home against the Cardinals, at Green Bay, home against Minnesota, at Seattle, home against the Giants, at Minnesota. Now, Andy Dalton against the Bengals is going to be very interesting.
That is true. Fuck.
Because Andy Dalton had some great times in Cincinnati, but also had some bad times in Cincinnati.
I mean, he wants that smoke, though. Andy Dalton, with that squad, they can stomp out the Bengals. I don't care what anybody says. That's a stomp out squad right there, bro.
Yeah, but remember, Joe Burrow's Bengals beat the Titans last year, so it's one of those, you never know what the Bengals are going to do.
Yeah, but Khalil Mack? Jesus Christ.
Except as long as my man is healthy, Khalil Mack will do his shit.
All right, so I'll tell you that LA got some problems. Even with Matt Stafford, they're not going to beat Chicago. Let's just start there. It's not going to happen. Matt Stafford's going to have flashbacks of when that defense got in his ass for years when he was in Detroit. So that's a wrap. I think they'll beat the Bengals. The Browns are high-powered enough to where they might make that a game. The Lions, of course, they'll beat the Lions. So that's 3-1. I think they'll beat the Raiders. I think they'll beat Green Bay. They're not going to beat Tampa. Is that San Francisco? Right after?
Yeah. Yes.
That's going to be a tough one for San Francisco. They might lose that one.
At Chicago.
Yeah, that doesn't look good. Steelers is early Steelers, so they might lose that one. So I said what? That's 9. So I said 6 and that looks like 6-3. They'll lose to the Ravens, beat the Lions again, 7-4. I think they'll beat the Cardinals, 8-4. They'll lose to the Packers, 8-5. 9, 10, 11-6.
I'm gonna give them that 10-7 on this one. So about the same.
Yeah, it seems right. It seems about right.
Because with Baltimore that late in the season in Chicago, Baltimore might have issues because of the weather.
Well, I think they'll both have issues, but remember that's kind of the whole point. So I think that's Baltimore. Nobody's going to be able to run and shit. Actually, all you're going to be able to do is run, and nobody's going to be able to pass. And Lamar Jackson's that's going to be interesting. So
he don't pass anyway. So
yeah, so that's why I have my. See, I have him beating the Giants, of course. The Vikings. Surprise, yeah. 11-6. 11-6. My man said 10. You said 10-7, right?
10-7, yes.
All right. So now that we.
All right. So next up we have the high school drama squad of Green Bay.
The Packers of Green Bay. The Packers.
So, Team Diva. They had a tumultuous offseason where Aaron Rodgers wanted to take his ball and go home.
I don't blame him.
No, he needs to stop being a whiny bitch. He complained so much they brought back a washed-up Randall Cobb.
I mean...
Because Randall Cobb hasn't been good in 4 years.
You're not wrong, okay? You don't have to
even with Deshaun Watson as his quarterback in one of those years.
Again, you're not wrong. You didn't have to say it, but you're not wrong.
If I don't say it, then nobody will, and they'll keep on sucking on that cheese dick. So
that's what they want, sir. Do you know that?
So, all right. So players they lost: Montravius Adams, Tavon Austin, James Burgess, Aaron Jones, Kevin King, Mercedes. Oh wait, no, Mercedes Lewis came back. Those three came back. Hold on, this is a weird one. Corey Lindsey, Lane Taylor, Jared Veld here. Nobody else a real note here for that one, but there are additions here. Joe Fortunato from the Cowboys. I have no idea who the fuck that is. Oh, long snapper. Yeah, we got your long snapper, Aaron.
That's right.
But I'm not a kicker. Go fuck yourself, Aaron.
Now you know
we're not giving you any good wide receivers.
Now you know why he wanted to take his ball and go home.
Then you got Ben Kurt, a quarterback. Blake Bortles, a quarterback who they cut. Hey, wide receiver DeAndre Tompkins.
No.
Then DeAndre Campbell, linebacker. Another quarterback, Jake Dolegala, the 6'7" dude from New England's practice squad. So they brought in like 5 quarterbacks to try and make Aaron Rodgers happy. That's not what he wants.
I need a receiver. How about some quarterbacks?
Here's 5 quarterbacks. Dominique Martin from the Tarleton State Spring League.
What?
A cornerback, Dominique Martin, his 2020 season was at the Tarleton State Spring League. Is that a prison?
What? What? Huh?
Okay, let's see who else they lost. They lost
everyone.
Christian McKinney, Calvin Russell, Mike Weber, Anthony Rush. Yeah, this is all. Oh, they cut a couple of the quarterbacks. They did cut Blake Bortles, as I said, and they cut Mr. Dolegala. I guess Aaron Rodgers didn't like sharing a room with 4 other men.
Would you, sir? Would you like sharing a room with 4 other men?
If they're nice guys, maybe. So in the draft, they need a wide receiver. So the first pick of the NFL draft, they picked Eric Stokes, the cornerback out of Georgia.
God damn it! And now you know why Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to show up.
With the second pick in the NFL draft, they took Josh Myers, a center out of Ohio State.
And now you know why Aaron Rodgers wants to leave.
And here you go. With the third pick in the NFL draft, they took Amari Rodgers, a wide receiver from Clemson.
So you're saying that, the first 2 rounds where they could have drafted a wide receiver, they just didn't. They drafted a quarterback. Corner? A corner
and a center.
Oh, my God. So this is the problem, right? They didn't address their big glaring need, which was their run defense. Okay? And Aaron Rodgers needing weapons. They addressed none of those. Who's drafting for Green Bay?
Hold on. Fourth round, an offensive guard, Royce Newman.
Oh, my God.
Fifth round, defensive tackle, Tadeo Slayton.
A fifth rounder? Is he still on the team?
Also a fifth rounder, quarterback from Appalachian State, Shamar Jean-Charles.
For Appalachian State University. Wow.
Then the sixth round, an offensive guard from Wisconsin, Cole Van Lanen. They only took him because he went to Wisconsin.
Back to what I said previously.
Then another linebacker with Xavier McDuffie, and then a running back in Kylan Hill. That was their draft.
Back to what I said previously. Now you know why Aaron Rodgers wants to leave.
Wait. They did sign an undrafted free agent, wide receiver, Bailey Gaither from San Jose State.
They didn't trade for no Julio Jones. They didn't trade for no AJ Green.
Adam Thielen straight up said he wants to go to Green Bay, and Green Bay was like, nah, fam.
They could even got Juju Smith-Schuster. They didn't even do that. This is horrible. My God. Now you know why Aaron Rodgers wants to leave. I think.
All right, so at Kurt, the quarterback room is Kurt Benkert, Jordan Love, and Aaron Rodgers.
Kurt baby. It sounds like
so nice they named him twice.
That's right, Kurt Benkert.
The running backs, you got A.J. Dillon, Kylan Hill, Aaron Jones, Patrick Taylor, and Dexter Williams.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones, the only one worth mentioning in the whole.
That's true. Aaron Jones got the fuck off last year. He had potential the year before had he not got injured. But yeah, Aaron Jones established himself as a top tier. And it's been a while since Green Bay has had a really top tier running back. They had Eddie Lacy, and I can't believe they shamed Eddie Lacy out of the league. You know what I'm saying? They shamed that man out of the league. Huh?
China food.
Listen. Did anybody question when Eddie Lacy was running people over? No. When anybody was like, "Oh, Eddie, we need you to give us 5 yards, drag some people on your back." Okay. Did anybody care he was fat then? No. So, but what was it? Is it about practice? Not a game? Not a game, sir? We talking about practice? Is that what this is about? Practice?
So, Aaron Rodgers' biggest complaint is his wide receiver room.
Mm-hmm.
Where you have Devontae Adams, one of the best in the league.
Okay.
Reggie Begelton, Chris Blair, washed up Randall Cobb, Damon Hazelton, Alan Lazard, rookie Amari Rodgers, Equanimus St. Brown. Equanimus.
Is my nigga Valdez Scantling still there?
Malik Taylor, coming back after multiple death threats last year, Marquez Valdez Scantling.
That's right. Woo!
And Juwan Winfrey.
This is gonna be a rough year. I mean,
the league's leading receiver will be Devontae Adams.
Yeah, by a lot. This is gonna be a all pro year for Devontae Adams, like a legitimate. He might just go for 2,000 yards.
Well, shit, because that wide receiver core was so shitty last year, he got 99 on Madden this year.
Right? How is your one wide receiver gonna be 99 and everybody else gonna be 69 and lower? That's what the fuck is going on here in fucking in Green Bay. Jesus Christ, man.
At tight end, another problem position for the Packers. Dominique Daphne, Josiah DeQuara, Bronson Kafusi, Mercedes Lewis, who hasn't been good in like 4 years.
Well, Mercedes Lewis, he had an injury, a bad injury, and he finally came back, I thought. I think, was it Mercedes Lewis?
Yeah, because remember he was in Jacksonville, he got hurt a few times.
Yeah.
Jay Sternberger and Robert Tonyan.
Oh yeah, Tonyan is a staple. That's like that dude Roberts. He's like the Moose. He's like Moose Johnston and fucking thing. Robert Tonyan's that dude.
Why don't the Packers have a fullback?
They run 3 wide receiver sets. Where are you going to put a fullback?
Well, their most successful years running the ball was when Mr. Kuhn was there, and he was a fullback.
Well, yeah. Well, John Kuhn is gone. You can't replace him. I mean, but this offensive coordinator LaFleur runs 3 wide receiver sets, and so they can't do it. So that sucks. It sucks because they have Aaron Jones, and they should use more honesty in their running game because of it. And you have Tonyan, which is a very good. He can run out the backfield. Mm-hmm.
So offensive lineman. See if this name jogs back some old memories of his daddy, John Runyon Jr.
John Runyon Jr. He's wow. Oh man, John Runyon Jr. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Oh, I need to mention on IR, Devin Funchess and DeAndre Tompkins are both wide receivers on IR.
Oh yeah, Devin Funchess went there. That was a decent pickup, but he's injured. So yeah. Back to this is why Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to play here anymore.
The defensive line: Kenny Clark, Kingsley Keke, Tyler Lancaster. They have the same defensive line from last year.
Kingsley Keke, do you love me? Are you riding? So you'll never ever leave from beside me.
Linebackers: Devondre Campbell, Jonathan Garvin, Dejon Harris, Isaiah McDuffie. They got a workhorse linebacking core.
Yes. Yeah. They're good, but they have one big glaring problem.
They can't sign a wide receiver.
They can't find a decent number 2 wide receiver, and they couldn't stop the run if it was right there in their fucking face. They can't. And most of the time, dude, Shanahan ran it up the gut, so literally it was right there in their face.
I know.
I'm just saying, like, listen, people, listen. Aaron Rodgers is not going to be here next year. I would suggest that no wonder they have to they drafted some quarterbacks. It's all bad, ladies and gentlemen. It's all bad. I feel sorry for Green Bay fans. I love y'all like a play cousin, but you better appreciate this man while he's still here, because Aaron Rodgers is gonna dip and he's gonna take Davante Adams with him wherever he fucking goes. Davante Adams, when Aaron Rodgers said that he wasn't coming back, Davante Adams tweeted in support. You don't know what you have until it's gone, y'all.
Yeah, my man was about to go join the Raiders because he was a teammate of Derek Carr in college.
Listen, if given the situation, I wouldn't be surprised if Indianapolis doesn't trade for Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. Just give them to us. We'll find some cap room somewhere. No big deal. Christ, like this is all bad, bro. This is all bad. I guess I'm gonna put up the schedule then. At this point,
yeah, put up their schedule because their defensive backfield is not good because they get ran all over. So
let me see.
Why are the dogs?
I got barking? One dog barking, and I gotta figure. I don't know why. Just keep it moving. Just keep it moving. Right.
So the season starts like this: at New Orleans, home against Detroit; at San Francisco, home against Pittsburgh; at Cincinnati; at Chicago; home against Washington; at Arizona; at Kansas City; home against Seattle; at Minnesota; home against the Rams; and their bye week. Then they're home against the Bears, at Baltimore, home against Cleveland, home against Minnesota, and finish off the season at Detroit.
Now listen, as bad as their season, as bad as some of the glaring goals that they have, The fortunate thing is that they only have a few teams that are actually good at the run that they're playing. They have, let's see, Washington's not good at the run. Hold on, I'm gonna pause it for a second. All right.
So where were we?
Yeah, we were talking about the I was talking about the running prowess of the teams that are on their schedule. So right now, it literally only leaves. Let's see, the Niners, of course,
the Saints, the Niners, the Cardinals, the Chiefs,
and the Bears,
the Vikings, the Bears, and the Ravens, and the Browns.
So the biggest problem they're going to have against the Browns, because the Browns are top tier, right? The Browns have Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. So we already know that. So they could probably get away with having not to deal with being able to outscore the Saints because of Jameis Winston. So I'm not too worried about that. The Bears, I think.
But Alvin Kamara does have the ability to go for 4+ touchdowns in a game.
Yeah, true. But I think, you know how Sean Payton is. If he really wanted to lean on the running game, he would have did that when Drew Brees was around and would have preserved them a lot more than they did the last 2 or 3 years.
Well, it's hard to do when you have a diva wide receiver who complains so much. You have to throw him the ball. You know, he drops like 30% of them.
Yeah. So that leaves the, let's see, the 49ers. We already know they're going to run. You know, Shanahan's going to run it down your fucking throat. Part 3, right? The Chiefs don't run that well. Vikings. Ravens are going to, you know, absolutely, with Lamar Jackson and then J.K. Dobbins and the Squizzard, they're going to do it. Steelers, not so much. So you figure if it's all said and done, I say 12-5.
13-4.
Ooh, look at you. You got.
No, I said it last year. We both called the 13-3 record last year.
Yeah.
We said it's going to be undeserving 13-3, but it's still going to be a 13-3.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say this extra game is going to throw people off because it comes so late in the fucking season. They're going to need the rest.
You don't know who actually going to be playing it. You don't know anything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so late in the fucking season. Yeah, I mean, I like 12-5. I like it because that Browns game in December, everybody's just gonna be running, and the Browns are gonna be vying for fucking the division against that division. It's gonna be crazy. And that's what we gotta look at. That's what we got.
All right. So now we are making that transition over to the AFC North, to where we will be looking at the logo of the Cincinnati Bengals.
The AFC North gods. North gods. Look at that.
Now, this whole season for the Bengals is on one caveat: Joe Burrow's health and how his leg holds up under pressure.
Yeah. They did draft an offensive line. And they did sign some free agents in the offensive line, which I know that you'll go over in a minute. So I think that was the big thing. They basically fed him to the wolves, but once they realized that this man could play, that's when players was like, okay, let me find out about this cat. Joe Burrow got more heart than anybody that I've ever seen that come out that draft number 1. I really want Joe Burrow to succeed and turn this Bengals team around. Mm-hmm. Joe Burrow reminds me of kind of like Jay Cutler, young Jay Cutler, but with more attitude and less bullshit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because Jay Cutler.
Yeah. Yeah. Jay Cutler had no emotions. He didn't give a shit. To whereas Joe Burrow does. And the problem with Joe Burrow was that when he shouldn't have been playing, he was playing. That was the issue. So
here's the Bengals had 4 people who signed at Arizona.
They have 4 people signed from Arizona?
No, in Arizona, left to back Arizona 4.
Well, it's cold. It's cold in Cincinnati. Okay, it's cold.
AJ Green, Marcus Hunt, Sean Williams, and Xavier Williams.
It was cold in Cleveland. Maybe they was just tired, okay? But in AJ Green's defense, he played like shit last year. And he didn't even get a chance to play.
He's always been injured, so.
Yeah, he didn't even get a good chance to play with Joe Burrow. You know what I'm saying? When he was healthy, AJ Green played like shit. He played half-ass.
He didn't care last year.
No, he didn't give a shit.
So some of the signings this offseason, Trey Hendrickson from the Saints, Chidobe Awuzie, who's a decent corner from Dallas.
Yeah.
Mike Hilton, another good corner who was in Pittsburgh last year.
Yep.
Larry Ogunjobi. Riley Reef, an offensive tackle from Minnesota.
Okay.
I think there's a big signing, even though his name has fell off. Eli Apple.
Oh yeah, Eli
Carolina.
That's pretty decent. That's a decent signing.
Okay. He's a great third corner.
Yeah.
That's like HaHa Clinton Dix signing with San Francisco. Mm-hmm. He's going to be a great third corner.
Yeah. Nah, you ain't lied.
Ricardo Allen, Thaddeus Moss, your boy Trent Taylor, Kavon Frazier, and Reese Horn. Those are their pickups. Reese Horn of Tampa Bay Vipers XFL fame.
Wow. Hawaii Sophie fame, fake little whatevers.
They released BJ Finney. Geno Atkins, they released him due to injuries. He has not been healthy in about 3 years.
Yeah, nah, it's been all bad.
He had an amazing career though when he was in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I mean
Bobby Hart and Giovanni Bernard, who is now with the Buccaneers.
Yeah, that's just.
Now we are here with the draft. Their first pick with losing AJ Green. This is a good pickup. Jamar Chase, wide receiver out of LSU, who played with Joe Burrow in Joe Burrow's last year in there's some trust going into this one, right?
Yep. So that's what you got to look at. I'm glad that the Bengals are actually being smart this time around when it comes to building around Joe Burrow. Like, I think that they learned from the Andy Dalton situation, that they can't rely on AJ Green and Tyler Eifert to be there every year.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they really didn't draft. Like, they drafted running backs and defense. Oh, AJ Green will play this year. Oh, Tyler Eifert will play this year. Gone. Andy Dalton injured. Make the playoffs but can't win a game. Let's run this shit back. How many times we gonna keep running this shit back, Sam? How many?
They went there 8 years in a row and never won a playoff game.
Nah. Got there a lot, though.
Marvin Lewis, the king of getting you to the playoffs, not winning any, though.
Listen, they out here, bullshitting Marvin Lewis. But, man, listen. The Detroit Lions have not ever made it to the playoffs in a very long time. The Giants haven't made it to the playoffs in a very long time. There's a bunch of teams that haven't made it to the playoffs in a very long time. They're talking about, Marvin Lewis, he's out getting to the playoffs but losing. Oh, really? Who does that affect? It only affects your draft position. At least you know your team's good enough to win games. But, I think that they learned that they need to build around Joe Burrow and make this work. And they need to
Yes, they learned from 10 years of mediocrity.
Yeah. They also learned from last year to protect your fucking quarterback.
So, with that said, in the draft, they picked up a tackle, Jackson Carman from Clemson. Mm-hmm. Clemson is a pro-style offense, so he's got experience.
Yep.
Also, Deontay Smith, a tackle from East Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Hill, a center from Georgia. And those are pretty decent offensive lineman picks.
Yeah, they drafted a whole O-line. They drafted a whole blindside O-line. That tells you exactly where their head is. Because he made it work with the receivers that they had. And now they got Jamar Chase.
And all it took was one hit. And that was with Chase Young and another guy inadvertently going high-low on him.
Yeah. But in Chase Young's defense, what I can even say is defense, they took out a bunch of quarterbacks last year.
Yeah. Chase Young is a monster.
Yeah.
That is one man. The only man he did not touch last year was Tom Brady.
Yeah. But, I mean, the Bengals might be in line for a really decent turnaround this year, as long as they
they might be the surprise team in the season.
Yeah. Which is scary. Well, we remember now with 7 playoff positions available now?
Yep.
So, just saying.
All right, so here we go. The quarterback room looks like this: Brandon Allen, Joe Burrow, and Kyle Shermer.
Well, it's crazy. The two quarterbacks that were there last year backing up
Burrow.
Burrow are not there anymore.
Nope.
It's crazy.
Because they actually played well and they went and took contracts other places.
I mean, I ain't mad at him. Got nothing but love for it.
In the running back room, we got Chris Evans, Joe Mixon, Jacques Patrick, Samahi Perine, Puka Williams Jr. Puka. And Travion Williams. So this year, Joe Mixon needs to get back that first year flair he had.
Yeah, but they actually elevated Perine from the. All right, so keep in mind we're talking about Oklahoma's number one running back, the number one running back in the Big 12. And he was sitting on the practice squad for the first 2 years. He got drafted the same year. Not Blake. God damn it, what the fuck is his name is? Quarterback for the Browns. You know who I'm talking about.
Baker
Mayfield, yes. And Perine is that dude. Perine used to run all over people, and they
him and Mixon should make a nice little 1-2 punch. No pun intended for Mixon's pass. Okay. Wide receiver room looks like this: Tyler Boyd, who has been solid in Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
Jamar Chase, the rookie from LSU. We already talked about him.
Mm-hmm.
T. Higgins, Trenton Irwin, Stanley Morgan Jr., Auden Tate, Trent Taylor, Mike Thomas, and Scotty Washington. Trent Taylor is going to be a kick returner.
Yeah, because he was a shitty wide receiver in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Tyler
Boyd, Jamar Chase are going to be 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I think Stanley Morgan Jr. had a decent season last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, no, he did have a decent season. Listen, that's why I'm talking about when you add the factors all up, it's starting to look like the Chargers did last year.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that Joe Burrow is more competitive to try and win him more games than the Chargers did.
So, tight end, you got Thaddeus Moss, Drew Sample, Mason Schreck, C.J. Uzoma, and Mitchell Wilcox. C.J. Uzoma is that dude.
Yep. No lies about that one.
They improved their offensive line, which they needed to do after getting their quarterback's leg just completely shredded last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Defense might be a question here. Gone are the days of a stud Cincinnati defense, which they had for quite a few years, to now we have a young defense led by Jermaine Pratt and Jordan Evans, I do believe, are the two captains at defense, the two linebackers.
Yeah, I believe so. It's going to be... The defense wasn't bad last year. They were on the field too much after Joe Burrow went down.
And their defensive backfield got better with Eli Apple. You got Von Bell, Tony Brown, Jalen Davis. The defensive backfield is solid.
Yeah.
Mike Hilton. Yeah, I like that defensive backfield.
Yeah, no doubt. Listen, it's gonna be a long season for them, but it's not gonna be bad. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be
they're gonna be scary. They had 2 players in the NFL top 100 for a team that only won 4 games last year.
Exactly.
Trey Hendrickson and Jesse Bates.
Yeah. So listen, I'm good. I'm significantly on this Bengals train. Everybody's like, the Bengals train. There's a Bengals train? Yes. Pull into the station, bitches. There's a whole ass Bengals train. I think.
So with that being said, while you're pulling up to the train, pull up that schedule, my friend.
Oh, it's already up, sir.
Oh, okay. We got Minnesota at Chicago, at Pittsburgh, home against Jacksonville, home against Green Bay, at Detroit, at Baltimore, at the Jets, home against Cleveland, bye week, at the Raiders, home against Pittsburgh, home against the Chargers, home against the 49ers, at Denver, home against Baltimore, home against Kansas City, and then at Cleveland. They are taking on the AFC West, which could be a nightmare for this Bengals team.
Oh, that's gonna be wild. Let me
because they run in one of the most physical divisions in football already.
All right, so I'm gonna base this one if Joe Burrow stays healthy for 16. Okay.
17.
17. He stays healthy for 17.
I'll throw mine out there. I think they're going to surprise a couple teams. I don't think they get to the playoffs this year. I'm going to go with 7-10.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction. They're gonna split. First, I think they're gonna split the division. Split the division games 3-3. Okay, Jacksonville to me is a guaranteed win at that point. Jets is a guaranteed win at that point for me. Let's see. Lions is a guaranteed win at that point for me. 6.
Even though you picked the Lions to beat them when you talked about the Lions.
I did, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
I had hyped myself from the Lion bandwagon.
That was one of the two. That was one of the 2 wins you gave the Lions.
Well, I'm taking it back. 1-16. Okay.
You want me to change it?
Yeah, 1-16.
Okay.
My bad.
All right. I will allow it this time.
I'll roll with you on the 7-10 train.
Yeah, it just looks more feasible right now.
Yeah.
I think in a couple years they will be a playoff team. Just not this year. They're in a very tough division.
Well, the division, like I said, I can see them splitting the division. After that, though, it's really Jets, Lions, Jacksonville, and maybe Denver. That's like it, because everybody else, like the Chargers, they're gonna come. They're gonna come. You know, guns blazing. Dalvin Cook, enough said. The Bears, you know how they're coming with that defense. Steelers in the first part of the season. Then we got Green Bay, Ravens, Niners, Raiders. Yeah, 7-10. I can roll with 7-10.
All right, so go ahead and throw up that very bland Cleveland Browns background.
Why I gotta be bland, yo?
Because it's the Browns. So Cleveland Browns were the playoff darling last year. Their head coach got COVID and could not contact the team, but he laid the game plan to where they beat the utter holy shit out of the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs.
So let me paint a picture for those that are new to the show. I like to paint a picture for everyone.
We call that shit.
Yeah. Let me paint a picture for y'all, okay? We said when the season, right, when we did the NFC North, the AFC North, we said what would happen if the Cleveland Browns either in the playoffs or somehow cost the Pittsburgh Steelers their playoff spot. I said that was going to happen. That was the bold prediction of the season. I said one way or the other. Either the Pittsburgh wasn't going to get in, or if they do get in, they're going to beat the holy crap out of them.
And then the backpack of that, we said when we did our playoff predictions, the Browns are going to beat the Steelers handily.
Yeah. Yeah.
And next thing we know, the game is on Sunday. Within 5 minutes, the Cleveland Browns are up 21-0.
Yeah. Yeah. We said it. We said it.
And Cleveland almost beat Kansas City.
Yeah.
If their defense could stop a backup quarterback, they would have been in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, pretty much. All you had to do was that.
No, they would have played Buffalo. Buffalo would have probably beat them.
But still.
Kansas City would have been gone.
The way that it went down, I just can't wait till we get to talking about the Steelers, because that was another bold prediction that we made too. We talked about the Steelers. Everything that we said about the Steelers happened.
I said at the beginning of the season, yeah, they look like they might be 10-11-0, but then they're going to lose the rest of the games that season. And guess what?
Yeah. And I looked at the schedule and like, he's probably be right. Fucking Browns out here playing spoiler. And I said the Browns revenge game, the Browns were going to get the revenge game after got suspended. I thought it was hilarious that didn't Mason Rudolph play in the revenge game too? Thought that was hilarious too because Ben Roethlisberger was injured.
Yeah, he got hurt so the Cleveland defense is one of the nastiest things in the NFL.
Yeah, the Cleveland defense and the Cleveland running game. And the best part about Cleveland was, didn't I say that they're a better team without Odell Beckham Jr.? They would have not.
We're going to see how they are this year with him being healthy if they don't move him before the season.
Yeah, they did not. They did not mesh well. They do not mesh well with Odell Beckham Jr. because
okay, so Jarvis Landry, yes, he is egotistical, but he's workhorse.
yeah, one of the best slot receivers in the NFL. Right now,
OBJ can burn you 2 or 3 times a game.
Yeah,
but that's it. Jarvis Landry can do it all game.
Yeah, yeah, he plays that slot. Like he's what would happen if you had Chad Johnson's athleticism with your boy Julian Edelman's hands and reliability. He's the perfect hybrid in that slot position. And he relied on him a lot once Odell Beckham Jr. went out.
Between Landry, the tight end, I can't remember his name at the moment, and Hunt and fucking Chubb.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. And that's kind of what they found their bread and butter. They found how to do their thug thizzle.
So I've been waiting to say this since we started this video.
Yeah, go ahead.
Their plays added. We talked about their defense being a nightmare for teams. Mm-hmm. Their defense just signed Jadeveon Clowney to team up with Myles Garrett.
My God.
You have 2 of the strongest, fastest defensive linemen in the NFL lining up next to each other. And they also signed Troy Hill, who's a good cornerback from LA. Malik Jackson, a defensive tackle from Philadelphia.
I don't know who Malik Jackson is.
John Johnson, a safety from the Rams. That's really it. And Anthony Walker Jr., a linebacker from the Colts.
Christ. And to think that they were the 3rd best team in the AFC North, but they had a nice record.
Yeah, they got to the playoffs too.
Yeah.
So their draft went like this. Greg Newsome II, Jeremiah Wusu-Koramoah, Anthony Schwartz, James Hudson, Tommy Tugalai, Tony Fields II, Richard LeCount, and Demetric Felton, who's a hybrid running back wide receiver from UCLA.
Yeah, that makes sense. But man, this is a squad right here. They really improved. They didn't really.
So Kevin Stefanski is a hell of a coach.
Yeah.
For only being his 2nd year and getting his team to what he did the first year, after the other fuck job that fuckboy did. What the hell was his name? Freddie Kitchens did the year before.
Well, let's call a spade a spade. They should have never made that man the coach. He was an interim head coach, offensive genius that got them his offensive wizardry. Got them where they went. Not his head coaching, just the offensive wizardry. The problem is that they forgot to play defense.
Yeah, when they had a good defensive squad.
Yeah,
on paper.
Yeah, so
you want to hear the most football offensive coach name in the NFL?
Sure.
Stump Mitchell.
Stump.
He is a running backs coordinator.
Stump Mitchell, baby. Oh man, that's a good ass name, Stump Mitchells.
And Bill Callahan is their offensive line coach.
I know Bill Callahan. You know who Bill Callahan is.
Yep, from Nebraska and former Raiders coach.
Yes, who got exposed by not changing the whole entire game plan in the Super Bowl that Tampa Bay won. But it's whatever.
All right, so their quarterback room looks a little better than it did last year. We got Baker Mayfield, Case Keenum, who's going to be a very good backup here.
Yeah.
And Kyle Lauletta.
He's in a good spot. Look, if something happens,
Case Keenum can win you football games.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Their running back room, which we already talked about, is a monster room. Nick Chubb, Demetric Felton, Kareem Hunt, Andy Janovich, Denoris Johnson, John Kelly, and Johnny Stanton at fullback.
Oh, that's a good squad. That's a good squad.
Now, over here at the wide receiver mark, we have Odell Beckham, Jamarcus Bradley, Davian Davis, Rashard Higgins, Cardro Hodge, Jarvis Landry, JoJo Natson, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and Anthony Schwartz.
I know who Peoples-Jones is. He's a good cat.
And Rashard Higgins is a solid receiver too.
Yeah. So they got some depth, which is nice.
And the man I was talking about, the tight end, was Austin Hooper. Who dominated the Steelers. But this year they get back their injured David Njoku.
Oh, yeah.
So they have a 1-2 punch at tight end now.
Yeah. Christ.
Along with Harrison Bryant and Jordan Franks.
Christ. Jesus. Okay.
And on the reserves list for tight end, they have 2 tight ends on reserve. It's Steven Carlston and Connor Davis.
Okay.
Ryan Switzer is a wide receiver who's on IR.
Okay. All
right. Offensive line is the same as last year. Jack Conklin, Drew Forbes, Chris Hubbard. Their offensive line is built to protect the run and the pass.
Yeah, they didn't lose anything in the offensive line, which is good because now they can just learn more. Right, that's the best part. Yep. They learn from their mistakes and they have that camaraderie and that bond and shit. I like that.
So, are you ready for the beef?
Yeah.
The defensive line.
Okay.
And stop me when it gets too beefy for you, okay?
Okay.
Andrew Billings, Jadeveon Clowney, Sheldon Day, Jordan Elliott, Myles Garrett, Porter Gustin, Joe Jackson, Malik Jackson, Cameron Malvo, Malik McDonald, Decarius McKinley, Romeo McKnight, Tommy Togiai, Curtis Weaver, and Marvin Wilson.
Jesus Christ.
7 of those guys are starters on any other team, not counting Jadeveon and Myles Garrett.
Yeah. With that outside, that Jadeveon Clowney and Myles Garrett tandem
are going to be a nightmare, especially for like the Pittsburgh Steelers, whose quarterback is a statue.
But you know who they did that for. You know why they did Jadeveon Clowney.
For the fucking Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Because that's the one demon that they have not purged yet. It's finding they've come close.
Yes, they almost had it last year. They were that close last year.
Yeah. Like, because they beat him the first game, Lamar Jackson's first game, but they haven't beat him since. That's the one demon that they need to purge. If they can purge that demon, I really think between that and in Kansas City, of course, because, Mahomes twice now.
And Buffalo.
Well, we need more paper on Buffalo with the Browns in order to get a better understanding. Yeah. But as far as demons that need to be purged, it's definitely going to be Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, bro.
He has the one hurdle that they built. So they built that defensive line because of Lamar Jackson. Yeah. That's the only reason you have this much beef with speed on that line.
Yeah.
The linebacking core, we're looking at Elijah Lee, Jacob Phillips, Malcolm Smith, Anthony Walker Jr., who was a really good linebacker in college, and Mack Wilson.
Yeah.
Defensive backfield, we are looking at AJ Green. No, not that one. John Johnson. It's a workhorse cornerback. Denzel Ward. They're workhorses.
Yeah.
But so the defensive backs succeed because what the defensive line does to people.
Yeah.
That's why the defensive backs, they're not name players, but they're solid.
That's a nice little squad. Man.
All right, go ahead and throw up their
Jesus Christ.
schedule.
Man, this Browns, man. Let me tell you, I believe in them. I told you every time we talk about it,
I know we've been on the Browns train since we started doing the NFL shows.
Oh yeah,
and it disappointed us 2 out of the 3 years.
Listen, sometimes your favorite person disappoints you, and then they do something and they totally redeem themselves.
Last year we almost had a parade when the Browns redeemed us picking them.
Oh yeah, I was gonna parade like Vince McMahon in the shit in that one gift where he's doing the trombone and the money's coming down and shit. He's going yes. That was big shit. Indeed.
All right. So to say we're a good team last year, the schedule was a little tough here. So they start off the season at Kansas City. Then home against Houston, home against Chicago, at Minnesota, at the Chargers, home against the Cardinals, home against the Broncos, home against the Steelers, at Cincy, at the Patriots, home against the Lions, at Baltimore. They played Baltimore in back-to-back games.
Yeah.
Then they got their bye, then home against Baltimore, then home against the Raiders, at Green Bay, at Pittsburgh, and home against the Bengals. If they can beat the Chiefs in that first game and get that off of their back, I think you're going to be looking at a very good season for the Browns.
Yeah. If they can get past that hump, I'm seriously, and y'all gonna think I'm crazy. 12-5.
You're gonna think I'm crazier. I'm saying 13-4.
Ooh. Okay, bet, sir. Bet on that.
And my bold prediction for this:
Uh-huh.
they sweep the Baltimore Ravens.
Well, that's a bold prediction. Back to backs?
Yep.
Oh wow. That's gonna be.
I would look people dead in the eye right now. They are going to sweep the Baltimore Ravens.
Wow. Okay, I'm here for it.
You said what? 12-5.
Yep.
All right. Go ahead and. Speaking of, go ahead and get those Baltimore Ravens up.
I will get them up in a second, sir.
So, this team had 3 teams make the playoffs last year. So,
yeah,
this division. So,
which was a good division. It was probably one of the best divisions, and not because of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, sorry, my bad.
Pittsburgh Steelers, the worst 11-0 team in NFL history.
Well, we said it too. We said it. Well, in fact, when we talked about it, we was like, Pittsburgh is the worst 11-0 team in football, and the Packers were the most underwhelming. Well, they were
13-3. Yeah, 10-1 at the time.
Yeah, most underwhelming 10-1 team at the time. We said these teams really shouldn't be where they're at, and were right.
What's the funniest part about this is, I know a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers fans. And they tried to jump my ass when they were 11-0.
Uh-huh.
So I said, "Oh, don't worry about it. You'll see."
Yeah, we called it because the whole situation was we looked at the early part of the schedule. They had the lightest schedule. The first half of their schedule was fairly light, and they got lucky twice, and that was it. The eight of those games were soft as hell, and then I was like, no, this isn't. They didn't play the Browns until the other half of the season.
No, they played the Browns week 1, but the Browns got up and then they went turnover machine. Remember?
Oh yeah, they did. That's right. Because he tried to feed it to Odell Beckham, which we said. That's right. And so, and matter of fact, I think the last game of or the next to last game of the season was against the Browns. And the Browns needed to win that to get into the playoffs, and that's what the hilarity was. So then we looked at it. We looked at the schedule. We said this shit is pretty light in the beginning, pretty heavy at the tail end.
At the back end.
They got lucky twice, and sure enough, the chickens came home to roost. After that, man, it was bad.
The Steelers almost missed the playoffs after starting 11-0.
Yeah. That was.
And I'm not even going to blame Mike Tomlin for that one. I am going to squarely blame. Before we even talk about the Steelers, I want y'all to marinate on this one. I put that blame squarely on Juju Smith-Schuster dancing on people's logos.
Oh, yeah. And soon, remember he started doing that? And that's when they started losing.
And Chase Claypool, I don't know what it means to lose.
Yeah. No, you found out.
So now here we are with the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson made an interesting claim the other day when he said, "I don't think the NFL has figured me out yet."
No. And I tell you what.
But one team has, and that's the Patriots.
Well, here's the thing. So every year, Lamar Jackson distances himself from the running quarterback and increases his passing capacity. The problem ends up is that by the time they get to the playoffs, I feel that they don't go with what got them there. And they go back to like running basically the Colin Kaepernick playbook. Okay, and
which so happens to be their offensive coordinator's playbook.
Yep. Which I'm sitting here like, why would you change? Like you're going against teams that aren't bad against the run. There are teams that are really, really good against the run, and you're sitting there like, I think what they played. Didn't they play Buffalo?
Yeah, and remember when they played New England, they tried to throw the ball against New England. You got fucking Gilmore. And you have a great secondary in New England. Why are you trying to throw the ball?
Yeah. It make no damn sense. It didn't make no damn sense for them trying to do that. And I'm like, you need to go with what got you. The game planning was what got them there. They basically based their entire offense based off the game plan of who they were playing because they had the flexibility knowing that Lamar Jackson can not only pass the ball, but also run the ball too. The issue
what also hurt him last year too was Mark Andrews getting hurt.
Yes. also the lack of talent at the wide receiver position
Yes.
also eventually came home to roost.
So go ahead, finish.
No, so this season, they needed to make some changes. They needed to add somebody other than Hollywood Brown as an offensive weapon. I mean, J.K. Dobbins was great last year. Ingram, because remember it was Dobbins and Ingram last year.
I remember Ingram's gone now.
Ingram's gone, so they needed to find a way to get a 1-2 punch out again. They needed to find another wide receiver or draft a wide receiver to alleviate the pressure off of Hollywood Brown. So, Big Sim, how did they do that?
With that being said, the players added this offseason, tight end Josh Oliver from the Jaguars, free safety Geno Stone from the Texans, wide receiver Sammy Watkins from the Kansas City Chiefs, offensive tackle Alejandro Villanueva from the Pittsburgh Steelers, who is pissed off at the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that's going to be interesting this year.
Yes. Yeah.
Devin Gray from the Falcons. Guard Michael Schofield from the Panthers. Defensive end Chris Smith from the Raiders. And this was a big one. Defensive end Justin Houston from the Indianapolis Colts.
So we're starting to the Ravens are starting to get that defensive swagger back that they had, that established themselves as the Ravens have always been a dominant defensive team. I think the more they try to they lean on Joe Flacco, the worse kind of things got defensively. They weren't as good. But they're a team now that has to be able to run the ball and play good defense now, right?
But okay, so now you talk about the losses real quick.
Yeah.
RG3 cut. DeAnthony Thomas cut. Traymon Williams cut. Mark Ingram cut. He signed with the Texans.
Yeah.
Matthew Judon, they lost him to the Patriots.
Yeah, I know Judon. But did Judon used to play for the Patriots previously?
No, remember, he was drafted by Baltimore. He was one of the best linebackers.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Remember, he was there with Ray Lewis for a couple years.
See, a guy named Matthew Judon sounds like a New England Patriot. That's why I asked. Well, you hear the name.
Here's another one. Edge rusher, Yannick Ngakoue to the Raiders.
Oh, yeah, Ngakoue, that was a rough one. But that's why they was able to get Justin Houston.
Chris Moore to the Texans. Jahad Ward to the Jaguars. Morgan Cox to the Titans. Matt Skura to the Dolphins. Javon Curse to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Willie Snead, one of their good wide receivers, to the Raiders. DJ Fluker to the Dolphins. Orlando Brown Jr. to the Chiefs. Brian Corey to the Patriots. Chauncey Rivers to the Packers. Aaron Adoye to the Jets.
Yeah.
Devontae Harris to the 49ers.
Yeah.
That leads us into the draft. The first pick they took was Rashad Bateman, a wide receiver out of Minnesota. Then they went offensive line for a couple picks with Ode Owehi and Ben Cleveland.
Yeah.
Then they addressed the cornerback with Brandon Stevens, another wideout, Tylan Wallace, a corner, Sean Wade, an outside linebacker, and Devin Hayes, and a tight end, and Ben Mason.
Oh, yeah. So they were able to re-up on the tight end. You see they re-upped on the wide receiver tip. Which I said.
Sammy Watkins, if he can stay healthy, he can do the job.
That's the key. But also the other thing is that they got to get him involved.
Yes.
See, KC never got him involved.
Well, the year they won the Super Bowl, they did, but then they stopped.
Yeah, but I'm saying last year they could have. No, they just did not. They just refused to.
And then he got hurt.
Yeah. So I think if Sammy Watkins is going to be able to keep them honest, keep defenses honest, at the very least, and with a young wide receiving core, they're going to be young and hungry. Should be real fun. Should be real fun. So I guess that leads us to the schedule, right? So,
nope. We got to talk about their roster first.
Oh, the roster. I'm sorry. My bad. Damn. Oh, I'll tell you who I do like. Which I know you're going to talk about because he's a backup quarterback. Huntley.
I'll get ready to talk about their quarterback room, and that's Tyler Huntley, Lamar Jackson, and Trace McSorley.
Trace McSorley, I think he was supposed to be a wild card pick, right? But Huntley has been the dude that has been balling this whole preseason.
Yeah, wasn't Huntley the guy who was supposed to be Aaron Rodgers' backup, but then he got fucked over?
No, that's Brett Huntley. This is another Huntley. I don't know if they're related or not. But this cat can ball. I've seen this cat this preseason. This cat can ball.
Oh, the kid from Utah. Okay.
Yeah, he can ball. Seriously, is like, I feel like if something ever happened to Lamar Jackson, knock on wood, that they would be good with Huntley for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the reason why they drafted him.
So your running back room, the reason that they went away from Mark Ingram was J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. Now they also have Justin Hill, Tyson Williams, and 2 fullbacks, and Ben Mason and Patrick Ricard.
Yeah, that's a little squad right there. But see, not Mark Ingram, J.K. Dobbins. When J.K. Dobbins came on, I don't think anybody expected him to perform the way that he did last year.
No, he had the money on Gus the Bus doing what he did last year.
Yeah, Gus Edwards played 2 years in a row. Gus Edwards was beast. Actually, longer than that. Remember, Gus Edwards has been there for 3-4 years now.
Yeah,
and even when Joe Flacco was playing shit, Gus Edwards was balling. So, matter of fact, no, longer, because Gus Edwards, if I remember correctly, was there when the bullshit happened with Ray Rice.
Yeah.
So it's been longer than that. So
he's been there for a minute.
Yeah. So Gus Edwards been proving himself on that Ravens team, and he got a spot.
Yeah, okay, so they're like the Thunder and Lightning. Dobbins got speed. Edwards just gonna truck your ass.
Yeah. Yeah, Gus Edwards is that dude. Don't get me, he's that absolute.
And that's why him and Mark Ingram work so good together.
Yeah.
Lightning and fucking Thunder.
Yep.
So the wide receiver room, we got Rashard Bateman, Miles Boykin, Marquise Hollywood Brown, Deion Kane, Devin Duvernay, Devin Gray, COC Mariner, Jalen Moore, James Prochet, Tylen Wallace, Sammy Watkins, and Benjamin Victor.
Hollywood Brown, baby.
Hollywood Brown is interesting to me.
He is.
Because he's not quite as good as his brother.
Yeah, not quite as good as his brother.
But he's more mentally stable than his brother. So you take the good with the bad.
Hollywood Brown, baby. Okay, that's the new name. Hollywood Brown, baby.
Then we got in the tight end room, Mark Andrews. If he stays healthy, he's one of the best tight ends in football.
Yeah.
Josh Oliver, Tony Poijon, and Eric Tomlinson.
Yeah.
Offensive line, the addition of Alejandro Villanueva, who is a very, very good offensive lineman. He has been for many years. He was just run down in Pittsburgh, and the way they treated him during the national anthem protest, because he is a former Army Ranger, he went out to the field and stood for the thing and everything, and his teammates and coach berated him.
Yeah. Well,
which I'm not a Steelers fan or a Villanueva fan, but even I said that's fucked up.
Well, let me tell you like it is. During the whole protesting stuff, you know me, I'm very much pro Kaepernick, right? Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, nobody won.
Nope.
Nobody. Not a single soul.
Kaepernick is still not in the NFL. He should be rated higher than half the quarterbacks in Madden.
Yep. And meanwhile, the people that supported him, nothing happened. The people that didn't support him, nothing happened. The NFL tried to ban shit. That didn't happen. Jerry Jones tried to ban shit. That didn't happen. There literally were no winners in this whole entire scenario. None. Absolutely none. And now it's business as usual. So, look, let me rephrase that. Kaepernick won an Emmy. There you go. Kaepernick won an Emmy. There you go. There's your winner. That's it. There you go.
You know who else won an Emmy?
Who?
Kobe Bryant and Bill Belichick.
There you go. See? Emmys aren't that hard to come by, ladies and gentlemen.
So, defensive linemen should be a stronger core this year. Calais Campbell was not the same player he was in Buffalo or Jacksonville last year because he was hurt.
Yep.
Justin Ellis. Derek Wolfe, he still has not refound his old swagger that he had in Denver. So I think this defensive line might be a little better than last year. At linebacker, Tyrus Bowser is a monster.
Yeah.
Justin Houston is a monster.
Yeah.
Kristen Welch. Oh, yeah, wasn't Justin Houston injured? That's why the Colts would cut him, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Jalen Ferguson is serviceable. Pernell McPhee, serviceable. Defensive backfield, Marcus Peters, Pro Bowler. Jimmy Smith, Pro Bowler. They have a good defensive backfield.
Yeah, they have a really good defensive
Avon
backfield.
Young, very good. Nigel Warrior, very good. Anthony Levine, very good.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're legit, man. Listen. They are fucking legit, bro.
All right, so go ahead and fire up that schedule.
Already on it, sir. Already on it.
All right, they open the season at the Raiders, then home against the Chiefs, at the Lions, at the Broncos, home against Indy, home against the Chargers, home against the Bengals, bye week, home against the Vikings, at Miami, at Chicago, home against Cleveland, at Pittsburgh, at Cleveland, home against Green Bay, at Cincinnati, and they finish off home against the Rams and home against the Steelers.
So when we look at the schedule, and we look
the Chiefs is the big problem in the first two games.
Yeah.
Because they have not found a way to beat the Chiefs. Or even slow down the Chiefs.
Yeah. Chiefs.
I also think with fans in Allegiant, I think the Raiders are going to come out inspired and beat the Ravens.
Everybody's going to catch COVID. One of the two. I don't know. Shit.
Yeah, if they didn't catch it at SummerSlam, they're going to catch it at the Raiders.
That's right. All jokes aside, I think they'll split the baby in the division. They may beat the Bengals twice. I'll say they'll beat the Bengals twice. No.
That Colts game is going to be rough too.
Yeah. No, I said that they'll split it with the Bengals. So yeah, I think they'll split the baby with the division. I'm gonna give them the 10-7 treatment.
They're going to 10-7 treatment?
Yeah.
Since I already said Cleveland was going to sweep them, I'm going to give them that 10-7 treatment also. Because I got them losing their first two games. Then beating Detroit, beating Denver, struggling with Indianapolis because of that defense.
So even if they see that's the thing. So even if Cleveland sweeps them, which that's also a possibility, because I know you went bold with that one.
Yep.
So even if Cleveland sweeps them, there's still a possibility of stealing one from like a Green Bay. Of course, I think they'll run all over them.
And for the first time in 10 years, the New England Patriots are not in their schedule.
God damn! Finally, shit.
Because everybody loved those Patriots-Ravens games. They're always so good when it was Tom Brady against the Ravens.
Yeah. Shit, man. All
right. It's time to talk about Pittsburgh.
Big Sim being Petty. He ain't got no alibi.
No, fuck them. Fuck them. The head coach is the mean frog.
Wow. There we go. Pittsburgh Steelers are in the building.
I know Pittsburgh Steelers fans hate me, and I love you guys. I know you hate me. It's okay. We're going on year 4 of this, and I know you guys hate me. It's fine. I accept your hate. Because every year I get shit from the Pittsburgh Steelers fans. You know it, James.
First off, it's year 5, okay? We're year 5 of the shit.
Remember when we were doing these live, how much shit I would get from Pittsburgh Steelers fans?
I know.
So, here are the players they lost. Matt Feller, Bud Dupree, Mike Hilton, Ola Denny, Sean Davis, James Conner, and Alejandro Villanueva.
That's who they lost?
Yeah.
Where did James Conner go to?
He went to Arizona. Because remember, Arizona did not re-sign
Drake. Yeah.
Yeah,
Kenyon. That makes sense. James Conner. I remember I said that he is like
my man beat cancer, but couldn't get a new contract with the Pittsburgh Steelers, even though he was their best running back.
Listen, James Conner is. I want to say that James Conner. Just say they gave away Le'Veon Bell because they thought James Conner was the best thing going, and then they give away James Conner too.
Yes, they acquired B.J. Finney, Joe Haig, Miles Killebrew. I ain't heard that name in a while. Miles Killebrew.
Yeah, Miles Killebrew. That's an OG name. Jesus.
Rashad Coward, Kalen Ballage, Abdullah Anderson, Arthur Mallet, Trey Turner, and Sam Sealman.
Sam Sealman, huh? I'm here for it. Okay. All right, fine.
All right. The draft. The reason they got rid of James Conner because they drafted Najee Harris, the running back from Alabama.
Yeah.
Then they went tight end with Pat Frymouth, center Kendrick Green, Offensive tackle, Dan Moore Jr. Inside linebacker, Buddy Johnson. Defensive tackle, Isaiah Loudermilk.
Loudermilk.
Does that mean when you squeeze the cow's udders, it goes, ah?
Yes, the milk is louder. It's
Offensive linebacker. Outside linebacker, Quincy Roche. Cornerback, Trey Norwood. And punter, Presley Harvin III.
The third. The Trey. Third. The third. The third is the word.
And of the undrafted free agents they signed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11 of them don't even have Wikipedia pages, so they're not worth mentioning.
Damn, man. We don't talk about them. They ain't got no Wikipedia, nigga. Shit.
Rico Bussey, Isaiah McCoy, Roland Rivers III.
This is my nigga Rico Bussey. Rico Bussey, baby. He's a Bussey, baby. It's okay.
I just want y'all to know I don't really dislike the Steelers. I just like pissing off their fan base.
Oh well, you know. Well, hopefully
I do it like I do a Bandmaid. Fuck you guys. You're lucky I don't have my rabbit mask on.
Band redacted.
We can say it on here.
Oh, okay.
They don't watch these videos. So.
Oh. Watch, we get like the one fan. You know,
the one asshole who dislikes all our videos because we stopped doing Bandmaid. Yeah.
Hey, you guy on the left. Who, me?
That shit still have me die. You guy on the left. They are the best. No, they're pop.
I just was hilarious. Hey, you, the guy on the left.
They were so mad. They got so mad at me for doing that last video. They were so pissed off.
Good. I just didn't like them threatening my son fucking dicks. Anyways.
So, we are looking at their quarterback room. You know who I feel bad for?
All of them?
No, Mason Rudolph, because even after getting a helmet to the head by Myles Garrett, is showing he can win with this team, has now been demoted to third string. Possibly fourth.
Yikes.
Because you got Joshua Dobbs, Dwayne Haskins, Ben Roethlisberger, and Mason Rudolph.
Oh, man.
Mason Rudolph might not be on the team when the season starts.
I mean, oh no, Mike Tomlin loves
Joshua Dobbs ain't bad.
No, Josh Dobbs ain't bad.
Dwayne Haskins has actually been playing well in the preseason.
Yeah, Haskins going to be on the team. But, you know, I think Tomlin has a soft spot for fucking, for Mason Rudolph. Yeah.
Because he's still covering up his racist threat at Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
That's why he caught the helmet to the head.
He wasn't racist. He wasn't.
I only called him a, you know. I said bigger.
I bet, sir. That's why he caught the fine and the suspension too. But no, you didn't say that at all.
My man Miles was just trying to show him how to securely put his helmet on.
Yeah, that's all. Safety first.
From a Tim Tebow throwing motion.
Safety first, Sin. Safety first.
Yeah. Okay. Their running back room: Kalen Ballage, Tony Brooks James, Najee Harris, Anthony McFarland Jr., Jalen Samuels, Benny Snell, Derek White, and Trey Edmonds at fullback. You really couldn't keep fucking James Conner here when you have nobody else but a rookie running back?
Nope, not at all. Not at all.
And Najee Harris, he was nice in Alabama, but Alabama was a pro team playing against college players.
Well, you know how it goes, sir. Like, you know. I mean, it's not like you don't know. I'm just saying. It's not like you don't know.
All right. The cockiest wide receiver room in the NFL. Rico Busey, Chase Claypool, Anthony Johnson, Deontay Johnson, holy shit, Ray McLeod.
Wait a minute, Deontay Johnson's back?
Yes, Deontay Johnson is back.
Okay.
But Ray McLeod, they got a Ray and a Juju.
Mama just gave up.
Sound like the block when I was growing up.
He said Ray and Juju, right? Them the plugs. That's what it is.
I swear they were fresh with the chaparral when you was a freshman there.
That was a Ray there. We had a Ray.
Matthew Sexton, James Washington, and Cody White. James Washington has been cut and re-signed by the Steelers so many times, the Patriots didn't want him. But the two arrogant pricks on this team, Chase Claypool and Juju Smith-Schuster. It's so bad for this wide receiver core. Chase Claypool tried to show his linebacker TikTok video, and I quote, the linebacker said, "I'm not a kid. We're not on TikTok."
Well,
It got so bad in this locker room last year, their own teammates were threatening them,
yeah,
especially Juju Smith-Schuster.
yeah.
He did the dumbest shit you could do in the NFL.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. I said it last year and I said it the year before, but I think this is it. This is the year. This is the year that Mike Tomlin loses his job. I know I've been calling for it for about 3 years now.
He has no control over that locker room. He didn't when Antonio Brown was there, when Bell was there. He has never had control over this locker room.
No, not at all. This is going to be a long season for the Pittsburgh Steelers because they got the schedule, the record that they got last year. Now you know the schedule is going to have to be like 10 times as harder, and we'll get to that when we get there.
We'll get that in a second. Let me get the rest of the roster.
Yeah.
Tight ends, you got Marcus Ball, Eric Ebron, Pat Freemuth, Zach Gentry, and Kevin Radar. Poor Eric Ebron. He's going to drop so many passes this year.
Why you going to be like that?
Because he drops a lot of passes.
I mean, yeah.
We have another Chaz here, but he's only got one Z in his name.
At least
Chaz Green.
That's normal Chaz right there. Normal Chaz.
Joe Haig from Cleveland. Zach Banner. Their offensive line, the only big issue is they lost their heart of the offensive line and Mr. Villanueva, who went to their rival.
Yeah, well, it happens.
Defensive line, we got Isaiah Buggs, Henry Mondo, Cameron Hayward, Carlos Davis. This team has 4 nose tackles and 4 defensive ends. That's all they have on defensive line.
4 nose tackles, 4 defensive ends. I mean,
that don't look right.
No.
Anywho, that's the Pittsburgh Steelers. Linebackers. Where is he a linebacker? Yeah, TJ. I always thought TJ Watt was a defensive lineman, but he's a linebacker. TJ Watt, Cassius Marsh, who hated playing for the Patriots, Melvin Ingram, Buddy Johnson, Ulysses Gilbert, Devin Bush Jr., Marcus Allen, not that one. The reason I mentioned that about Cassius Marsh, because the only time, the 2 teams that he hated playing for the most are the only reason he has 2 Super Bowl rings. The Seattle Seahawks and New England Patriots.
It's crazy, which makes you think that, wait a minute, maybe the hard work equals success.
Yeah.
No.
Teams that work you harder win.
Look at,
we're not having fun. You have championship rings. Fuck off.
Is this supposed to be fun, huh? Is this supposed to be fucking fun?
Tom Brady busted his ass in New England for 19 years, won 6 championships, went and had fun, and won number 7.
Yeah, exactly.
See, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The defensive backfield. Micah Fitzpatrick needs to have a better season than he had last year. Joe Hayden needs to come back to form. Miles Killebrew is good. James Pierre Lafayette Pitts.
Yeah.
Their corners are decent. Terrell Edmonds, Shakur Brown. But they are going to get beat up by the run game this year.
It's going to be really, really rough because they had problems against the run last year.
I forgot to mention Cam Hayward. Sorry.
Yeah, they had problems against the run last year. And in a division where, with good running backs, that's probably not a good thing at all.
You got Joe Mixon, Nick Chubb, Lamar Hunt, J.K. Dobbins, and Gus Johnson.
Yeah. That's it.
Good luck. And in Baltimore, you have a very angry offensive lineman who's going to look to push the defensive lineman through the field.
Yeah. Should be fun.
All right, let's go ahead and throw up that probably toughest nail schedule for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
There we go, sir.
Starting off the season, it was not going to be a good look because this team is much faster than Pittsburgh at the Buffalo Bills.
Damn it.
Then home with the Raiders, home with the Bengals, at Green Bay, home against Denver, home against Seattle. Then they got their bye week. It is way too early in the season for Ben Roethlisberger to continue to be healthy for the last 11 weeks of the season when his bye week is in week 7.
Yeah, that's true.
Then they're at Cleveland, home against Chicago, home against Detroit, at the Chargers, at the Bengals, home against Baltimore, at Minnesota, home against the Titans, and then at the Chiefs. than Cleveland and Baltimore. Those last 4 games.
That just sounds like Murderer's Row.
Derrick Henry is going to fucking eat this team.
That's Murderer's Row right there, bro. Jeez.
So, I'm going to do what James does. I'm going to name my losses out as I see them. Lost to Buffalo.
Yeah.
They beat the Raiders. They beat the Bengals. Lost to Green Bay.
Yeah.
They beat the Broncos. They lose to Seattle. They lose to the Browns. They beat the Bears. They beat the Lions. They lose to the Chargers. They lose this game to the Bengals. They lose to the Ravens. They lose to the Vikings. They lose to the Titans. They lose to the Chiefs. They lose to the Browns. And they beat the Baltimore Ravens at the end.
Damn.
They are going 5-12.
Wow. That's brutal. I'll leave it. I'll do you one better. All right, let's see.
Who knows? They'll go 11-0 and then lose their last 6 games. 6 games.
They're gonna go 8-9. Tomlin's gonna get fired. Nobody's making the playoffs. Have a good day. That's that. There you go. I'm looking at the schedule. I agree with most of your losses. That's why I said 8-9. That's just where it's at.
And again, like I said about the Ravens, for the first time in 14 years, the New England Patriots are not on the Pittsburgh Steelers schedule.
Yeah.
They just love feeding teams to Tom Brady, didn't they?
Of course they do. They do it out of love, sir. They do it.
They're like, oh, Tom's not here this year? Okay, we'll just take him off the schedule.
It's the Tom Brady revenge tour. You didn't know? For the next 2 years.
For the last 19 years?
Mm-hmm. Shit. Nah, it's the Tom Brady. I didn't have enough talent in New England, but I got plenty of talent here tour. That's what it is.
The Tom Brady, yeah, we had a mediocre team, but I still went to 9 Super Bowls with these motherfuckers.
Fuck.
So he didn't do it at the beginning. Ride Fresh is one of our sponsors. Click the link in the below to get your free month of Ride Fresh, the air freshener, on Hollywood J Black and Big Sin.
That's right. Do it. Support the family. All right.
So that's another NFL show in the books. Hollywood. Let the people know what they need to do to stay in touch with us here at Simple Black.
Oh, it's very simple. It's just 3 things only. 3 things only. 3 things only. You gotta like. You gotta like us. Hit like, baby. Just like the video. Hit the thumbs up. Say, hey, you know what? This is actually, like Vince McMahon says, this is some good shit, pal. All right, so hit the thumbs up. All right. So the second thing, you gotta subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. And when you subscribe, that means you're going to see all of our content. And then the third thing, which is the most important thing, you got to ring the bell. When you ring the bell, that tells YouTube that, you know what? I like their videos. I subscribe to their channel. Bring me some more of their good shit. And that's exactly
you can be like Busta Rhymes. Give me some more.
That's right. We're going to give you everything that you ever wanted, everything that you ever desired. So, was that cool, Big Sin? You like that?
That was very good. Because so, fans, if you give it to me, I'll give it to you. You know what I want. You know we got it. So with that being said, my name is Big Sin. That man over there is Hollywood J Black. We are Sinful Black. This is not Reacts. This is Sinful Black Entertainment. And we will see you next week with the last video of this, with the AFC and NFC West, where we got to have a talk about your 49ers.
Oh, yeah. That's a controversy creates cash. So until next time, we are out this thing. Deuces.